Imagine this. A novel comes out, it's so provocative the author actually faces obscenity charges, but then it gets called perfect. One of the most influential books ever. Today we're doing a deep dive into Gustave Flaubert's debut, Madame Bovary, using that great Wikipedia source you showed.
Right, and our mission for you is to unpack it all, not just the scandal, though that's juicy, but also the groundbreaking style and the impact it had, why literary realism, and why does this character, Emma Bovary, still get under our skin? We'll look at how Flaubert used her story to really critique a society he wasn't too fond of.
Okay, let's unpack it.
Oh.
So Madame Bovary, first serialized 1856, and boom, immediately attacked for obscenity. This wasn't just like a few bad reviews, was it?
No, not at all. Flaubert was actually put on trial January 1857. He was acquitted about a month later, but here's the thing. The trial itself was huge. It wasn't just about dirty words. It was about, artistic freedom. Flaubert's unflinching look at illusions.
So the trial basically backfired on the critics.
Completely. It made the book instantly notorious, a bestseller almost right away when it came out properly in 2 volumes. The legal drama just amplified everything.
And the literary side is just massive. Henry James calling it perfect.
Mm.
Vladimir Nabokov saying the prose does what poetry should do. That's high praise.
It really is. And connecting that to the bigger picture, Madame Bovary is, yes, prime literary realism, but it also gets really psychological. Flaubert was sort of ahead of his time, prefiguring modernists like Proust or Virginia Woolf, really getting inside characters' heads, their thoughts, their feelings, not just what happens externally.
So let's talk about Emma Bovary. Who is she? The source says she has this highly romanticized view of the world, craves luxury, passion, basically wants to escape the boredom, the ennui of her provincial life.
She marries Charles Bovary, a decent guy, but dull, for her anyway.
Which really sets up that core conflict, doesn't it? What happens when these grand illusions smash up against, well, reality?
Exactly. Emma's story is the perfect example of that gap, the distance between what you desperately want and what you actually get. Her romantic ideas just had no relation to the realities of her world. It's such a defining trait they even coined a term for it, Bovarism, that constant dissatisfaction, always yearning for something else.
And her life just becomes this series of letdowns. Motherhood isn't what she expected. Her affairs, first with Léon, then Rodolphe. They don't deliver that imagined passion, not really.
Yeah.
It's all fueled by the novels she reads. And then there's the money side, chasing luxury, getting manipulated by that merchant, Leroux, ending up in terrible debt.
Which leads to that really grim ending, the agonizing death by arsenic, and her poor daughter ending up in a cotton mill. It's bleak.
Yeah, really bleak.
And that bleakness is deliberate. Flaubert, you see, he really despised the bourgeoisie. He saw them as superficial, materialistic, spiritually empty. So Emma's downfall is kind of his comment on chasing those empty dreams. But what's fascinating is his obsession with style. He wanted, he said, a book about nothing, held together by the internal strength of its style, almost anti-romantic, even though Emma herself is such a romantic figure.
That's interesting. His critique of the bourgeoisie, yet Emma herself, she's not always easy to sympathize with, is she? How does Flaubert manage that balance?
That's a really sharp point. Flaubert is quite detached, almost clinical in his portrayal. But Emma's tragedy, I think, taps into something universal. We all struggle with dreams versus reality, right? Even if her choices are destructive. That kind of universal core is why the story just lasts, despite the controversy, despite the darkness.
It really has lasted. I mean, a book so tied to 19th century France yet. Look at all the adaptations. It's kind of amazing.
It is staggering. You've got films, Jennifer Jones, Isabelle Huppert playing Emma. You've got opera, graphic novels like Gemma Bovary, even, believe it or not, Veggie Tales with Madame Blueberry.
Veggie Tales. Seriously.
Seriously. It just shows how deeply this story, Emma's struggle between fantasy and reality, has sunk into the culture. It resonates across time, across different media, because that core conflict, it's fundamentally human.
So when you boil it all down, Madame Bovary is this profound look at wanting more, the danger of fantasy maybe, and the, well, often harsh reality check life gives you.
Exactly. So for you, listening now, maybe think about this. In our world, which is so full of idealized images, curated online lives, how does Bovarism show up today? Where do we see that gap between desire and reality? Or maybe consider how a book called Perfect achieves that status by showing imperfections so unflinchingly. What does that tell us about powerful storytelling?